Yo, what's up everyone? Welcome back. Jamie here with Nathan, and we're going to be reviewing Hatchet 3, which was released in 2013. Written by Adam Green, but not directed this time, but still as good.
Different. It was different.
It was different. And let's just get right into it, just like the film does. It literally picks up from the end of part 2, doesn't it?
It starts, and I cannot stress this enough, with a bang.
Oh yeah, it starts with the gunshot of the Mary Beth shooting Victor.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a good thing about these films. I do like how they just pick up straight after each other.
Oh, yeah. It's clear, like, literally, I think it's been less than 24 hours before you get to the ending part of Hatchet 3.
True, but it's been a few years though. But inside the story, it's
Yeah.
only been 20. But yeah, so she ends up shooting Victor, and she starts walking away, and you get that sick shot of him just sitting up in the background.
The taker spot.
It's the Michael Myers spot.
Taker spot.
Michael Myers did it first.
Taker did it better.
So Mary Beth's like going through the swamp, and Victor is alive once again, and he just jumps on her, and she gives him that punch right through the hole inside his head. And then he falls onto the chainsaw from the last film, doesn't he? That massive ass chainsaw.
The visuals on his body being slowly ripped apart. Chef's kiss. Fucking brilliant.
All the way through, completely cut in half. It's so good.
Yeah, it's not like, oh, his spine's got... It's like, here's his left side, here's his right side, all this space. It is amazing.
And then we get the opening credits with a Gua song, Hail Genocide, as she's slowly like... I mean, this opening's not bad.
It doesn't live up to the Myers one for me. Not Myers, the Manson one.
Yeah.
But it's still good. Still very good.
Definitely good. And then she arrives at the police station, doesn't she? But before she arrives, we see Adam Green arrested, so there's his character arc.
What a character arc it is. Amazing.
He's, like we said, 7 years, didn't we? But it's been 24 hours, but he's aged. He's aged a lot in 24 hours.
Mardi Gras will do that to you, brother. Too many titties, too many rose beads.
Like I said, Mary Beth walks in, and she walks in with a gun, so obviously the police tell her to get on the floor.
I'm shocked they didn't shoot her, because she comes in covered in blood, shotgun, scalp.
And she's like, no, what she say? I killed him, or he killed them all. She says something like that.
It's the both. He goes like, I killed him. I finally killed him. Then when they've got her on the ground, like, who did you kill? She then says, he's killed them all, and they're just panicking like, who's dead, honey? Because that's a lot of blood on you.
So they take her into the cell, obviously, and the sheriff's going over like a story, like literally what's happened. And he's basically like, no, that's not believable. And it cuts to Adam Green. Adam Green's like, because obviously he wrote the thing. So
Yeah.
I do love that element. That was a very good element.
The other thing what I don't get is when they've like cleaned her all off and stuck her in the cell, who had time to give her a hairdo? Because her hair looks pristine in that cell.
True.
Who had time?
We get introduced to the journalist character. She's called Amanda, but she's played by Caroline Williams Stretch from Chainsaw Massacre 2. And she's also the ex-wife of the sheriff, isn't she? And obsessed, yeah. And she wants to, talk about Crowley and get Mary Beth to talk and shit like that. Which she serves a purpose later on when we'll get to it when we get to it. We go back to the swamp, don't we? The paramedics are introduced, and I had to write down the actor's name. He's called, the character's called Andrew, but the guy's called Parry Shen. And he was the same guy in the other two. The brother and then his tour guide and all that.
I love how self-aware it is at times.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Definitely helps.
And speaking of the journalist Amanda, she says Crowley can't be killed because he's in the cycling of the night that he died, and he just constantly comes back.
Like they keep, even in number 2, they kept saying it's a repeater. Like he's a repeater spirit, which I think is just lovely.
True. And it also explains, like, it gives us it's not over-explained, but you understand why he keeps respawning and shit.
It answers that thing where, like, when you look at Friday's like, yo, how does Jason keep coming back from all this? But with Crowley, it's like, said from the start, no, he respawns at this set point in time. Cool. Love it.
It's cool. Just shouting for his dad. Daddy.
The fuck is that?
And then Victor finally comes alive and we get the defibrillator. And that's just so... Because at first he puts him on his head, doesn't he? And you think that's it, and then his head just... Head pops.
Turns up to the max. Boom.
And we get introduced to the SWAT team with the leader played by Derek Mays, the remake Jason from Friday the 13th. And he's a complete dick in this, but he's funny though. He just walks, he just pushes the guy out the way and he falls off.
It's funny because when he pushes him, the guy go, oh, he's a big man as well. I forgot how... I'm in awe of this man. Like, I think he's like 1 or 2 inches off being as big as Crowley is. And Crowley's a beast.
So Amanda and Mary Beth go to get Victor's dad ashes, don't they, from the last relative alive of their family. Which, we'll get to when we get to, but it's a good reveal who that is. The SWAT team arrives at Crowley's house, don't they? And then, Andrew's trying to warn him. He's like, let's get out of it. Why are we staying here?
Hide in the bush. You want to join me in the bush? Anyone hiding? Do we all want to die?
And you get a sick shot of him just appearing in the darkness like Myers does and shit, and he just pulls that girl. And he pulls the guy in first, and then the girl, he gets the hook and tries pulling her away to try saving her, and then his hand just comes back out and just rips her right in.
Hand in the mouth pulls her. It's like, oh, at that point, honey, you're dead.
And then they start ganging up on Victor, don't they? There's like, 4 or 5 of them just like trying to beat him down. And before he gets his hands up, what do you call it, the big show spot?
The big show
his aura
spot.
just fucking sends them all flying.
All these guys just laying punches in his back, and he just raw, and they all go flying. Like, they don't fall, they actually go flying.
Finally get Derek versus Crawley, Jason versus Jay. It doesn't last that long though, but
5 seconds. He gets in 2 hits, and that's where that ends, yeah.
But it's a brutal kill though. What is he put his hand through his stomach and he pulls out his fucking spine on her.
Yeah, just below your ribs there, he puts his hand in, grabs his spine, twists it, and pulls out.
That's a Mortal Kombat kill right there, man. That's a fatality.
I wonder where they got the influence for the half the kills from. They're all fatalities.
Yeah, true.
No one goes decently in this thing. Everyone suffers.
Not like most Friday films, I just stab you dead.
No. Crowley's sending a message.
And there's we didn't mention this guy, but Dee Snider's son's in this, the guy out of Twisted Sister, and he pulls out a, what is it? Is that a rocket launcher? What is it?
Yeah, I don't want to say anti-tank, but I think it's anti-infantry rocket.
And he's about to shoot Victor, but he hits someone else instead, and he blows up the house.
Sorry, Rick.
And that sick shot when Victor just turns around and he sees his house on fire. I love that.
If you could dub over, you'd be like, my fucking house.
They made it personal at that point.
At that point, you're fully with Victor. Like, you understand where he's coming from.
Yeah, true.
But he ruins the guy that shot the rocket. He ruins him.
Oh, yeah. He rips off both his arms, doesn't he? And then he puts his head inside the puddle.
Which I think that puddle came from most of his blood.
And then we get revealed who the relative is, played by Sid Haig himself. But he plays it. Is he stuck in the early 1900s, 1800s? Because he's a racist, isn't he? And he doesn't know about like what's going on and shit like that.
Vietnam War sort of time-ish.
Yeah. But Sid Haig's always good, man. He just steals the show whenever he's in it. I love Sid Haig.
Oh yeah, would have loved him more in it.
True. It's sort of like the Tony Todd thing from part 1, and then like the little cameo appearance. So that was pretty cool. And we're into the swamp, aren't we? And who is it just trying to get away now? It's
just a random paramedic from the start of the film.
Yeah, and he bumps into Ben from the first film, because a lot of people are asking, like, what happened to Ben? Because I think that guy eventually, like, after Hatchet, became not a big actor, but he went on to other projects and shit.
He went on to do a lot of like TV shows and that.
Yeah, and he makes a little cameo appearance where he's still, because it's like we said, it's only been 24. No, I guess over 24 hours since the first one.
At that point, I reckon you're like closer on the 36-hour mark.
Yeah, and he looks like, because he's got one arm. He looks like death, and he gets the hatchet inside there, and he goes, you gotta be fucking kidding, man.
Fucking brilliant callback, that. Love it.
Yeah, I love it. So yeah, we got the 3 remaining survivors, and we got the sheriff, Adam Green's ex-wife, and Andrew inside the boat. And then we get the turn of the belt sander once again.
Let's go!
Victor started getting through the wall with it. And, it's a little tense moment, I guess, for a second, isn't it? Because the sheriff puts his head through when he hears his ex-wife. And then, holy shit, when he comes back out, his head is gone.
When you prepare a chicken and you take its head off and its neck's like all flappy and shit, it looks like that. It's fucking brilliant.
Yeah, he's waving about it.
I was just going to say, when they bring back his abs, like, oh, I've got no head.
But the bit I don't get is the 2 of them left in it because he drops his gun, and then she's like slowly like, what the fuck is the gun gonna do at this point? Like a handgun as well. Like, come on.
Like, I get that you would feel safer with it, but you've seen this man they were there when they saw him get shot to shit and ganged up on, and he just casually went rah and lived.
But Andrew was right, because he lived, didn't he? He just waited inside the corner and he ended up living.
Yeah, he just stayed in the boat the entire film.
So the finale's happening. They take Mary Beth with Victor Crowley's dad's ashes to the swamp. And this bit's good. Like, I do like that she puts the ashes down and she starts apologising. And doesn't Victor go, Daddy?
It's like, but it's not like when he's doing his little echo bit where it's like, in the first, like, Daddy. It's actually from his vocal voice, and it's like a proper beat, Daddy. It's like, oh my god. But he don't give a fuck.
No, he don't give a fuck. That's it. Yeah, he rips the journalist's head off first, and then he throws it at Mary Beth.
He 3-point shots it. You see Mary Beth go dink.
And he picks her up and he impales her on the tree as well. That's brutal.
And it's not like slightly through his side. It's like almost center of her stomach. Like he barely missed her spine.
But that's when she manages to smash the ashes over Victor's head, and he starts melting, doesn't he?
Oh, all his flesh.
It's a cool effect. I do like that effect as well. Mary Beth gets off the tree and she's bleeding out, and she's like, "What do you do?" She's waiting for him to respawn, isn't she, basically? And she just goes, "Fuck it," and she just blows him away with a shotgun.
The most overpowered shotgun in existence. She uses it on this skeleton. It is an amazing visual.
And then the helicopters arrive, and the film basically ends with Mary Beth. We don't know if she's dying or not, but it looks like she's bleeding out. That's the impression. And it just ends on her breathing, basically. The overall rating, what would you give Hatchet 3?
I know when I said it last night, you were like, really? But I think this is the best Hatchet film. It's one of my all-time favourite horror films. For me, it's a 10 out of 10. I just like it that much. I'm not saying it's a perfect film, but for me, it clicks all my criteria. So yeah, 10/10.
I mean, the only fault, like I said last night, is just I don't feel like Mary Beth's in it too much. Like, I'd like to be in it more, but I can understand, like, obviously, she won't just go straight back to the swamp, would she, after 2 films? So it makes sense.
Yeah.
I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10. But it is really good, though.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't drag. The kills are even better than the last 2.
The comedy's great. Like, to me, some of the shining characters in it was, what's he called? Dee Snider's son. He was a main character.
True, yeah. Because he was basically what everyone would be like. Why the fuck are we still here? What are we doing?
a joke in that film, what I think's amazing, is when he goes to tell Andrew Green's ex-wife, is like, listen, Victor Crowley's born, and someone just stops him and goes, no one wants to hear that. It's like, yeah, we've heard the story before. He's just like, you dick. Love it. Comedy's perfect, gore's perfect. Love it.
So next week, Victor Crowley will be reviewing that, and then that's it for the Hatchet films for now. Make sure you like and subscribe if you're new. Check out Nathan's social links down below. Until next time, in a bit.